What do you do?
I do OnlyFans. I'm gonna shock everyone.
Hi, I'm Ino. Today I'm here with...
Amber.
Okay,
I don't
Ambri.
want to be called Amber. Amber is disgusting.
Okay, Ambri. Okay, so where are you from?
Belgium.
Kevin De Bruyne.
I hate football. I'm so sorry. Oh, he's dying behind there.
Yeah. Every guy here is gonna ask you if you say from...
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay, so what do you do?
I do OnlyFans. I'm gonna shock everyone here.
OnlyFans?
3 years, yeah.
So what I know about OnlyFans is just like people pay for subscription, right? And then you provide them like exclusive content.
I think it's a range, you know. There is some people that do some hardcore things, but there is some that do the full-on, I don't do that. There is even like a kitchen course, how to cook. There is everything there. Like there is like private training, sports training on there. There's everything, but it's mostly used for...
exclusive content.
Yeah.
What brings you here?
Actually, I just left Belgium 2 months ago. I just wanted to leave my country and do just an Asia tour. And I started with Thailand. I spent 2 months there. And then Korea was really logic because I just already know a lot of people here. So it would not feel like as because I'm solo traveling, but I don't feel like I am solo traveling here, It's more, I know so many people, so I think, that's why I came here. I have a lot of friends, party and I drink, complain too, so.
Just for traveling mostly, right?
Exactly.
And to meet your friends. Okay, so next question. Have you watched Squid Game?
I heard about the character that is, I'm trans by the way, I'm a transgender woman. I heard about the character that is played by a cisgender guy. Just the person that is not trans is cisgender. And it's a trans woman that is played by a
Man.
and that's not good. We don't like that.
That was a big controversy, more in Western. What is your thoughts about that?
I think that's a bit sad, especially for a country like Korea that is just slowly getting more open to LGBTs and stuff like this. I think that just portrays trans women in such a bad way. It's kind of in telling that trans women are men, I think I saw Itaewon class. There is trans woman that is played, and that's also not a trans actor. That implies at least it plays by a woman, so a woman plays that makes more sense. But when it's a man playing a transgender woman, it gives this idea that, trans women are drag queen, trans women are cross-dressers and stuff like this, which is not the case, And I think, for a country that is slowly getting more open to all of that, it gives a really bad representation to the masses, and that's gonna keep people even more clueless about what being trans is. And I think that's why it's a little bit sad, because I don't think that's him that shows these things, but I think they could have found a trans actress. I don't think that would be really hard to find. So yeah.
Okay, I understand. But what we think, I think most of Korean people think that as long as he acts well, is fine. I think it shows cultural difference between Korea and Western.
I'm gonna give an example. Now imagine in the Western world, there is a movie about Korean family. All of these actors are just Asian, but not Korean. It's a movie about Korean people, but all of the actors are Japanese, Chinese, Thai, whatever. I think they would not like it that much neither.
I think we wouldn't like it.
I hope I'm not saying anything problematic here, but I'm just trying to explain why you would not like it. It's you will hear those people speaking Korean, but as a Korean you would hear that it's very badly pronounced Korean. I think you guys would not like it. So it's pretty much the same feeling when you as a trans woman see a man playing a trans girl.
I understand with that example. I understand. But the director of the Squid Game said it was very difficult to find a trans actor. So he feels very desperate and sad, so he couldn't find.
I understand that, but then why using a male character? He could have used a woman, Should have been a woman. And I think Western world would have been way less annoyed, We didn't hear that much about it on Itaewon class, because at least I was a woman, So I think that's That's the main issue.
Okay, I understand right now. Okay, when did you first become aware of your gender identity?
Okay, always. It's just like when you're a child, you're not like 6-year-old and you're like, I'm a transgender woman, you know? It's just like you always like felt like a woman. When I was, little anecdote, I was 2 years old, 2 or 3, my grandparents told me that. And they bought me like a fire truck, like a game fire truck. And I was so delusional because in my head I was like, there is no way I'm gonna receive a fire truck. I opened the package and I'm like, oh wow, the beautiful kitchen. You know, it has always been like me attracted to feminine things and feeling like a woman. And then of course when you grow like a 12-year-old, you see like representation on social media, like, oh okay, that's what I am. You know, I kind of always knew, it just took a bit of time to put words onto my feelings.
I think you're like ever since you're born, you felt like that.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay, interesting. What made you like to begin your transition?
Okay, you know, when I realized that I was trans, that I was a woman, I was like around 12, 13, 14. You want everyone to like you. You want everyone to accept you. So I always knew, but I kind of put it like, how to say, like down inside of me. I didn't want to show it to the world because I wanted to be accepted. And at my late 17 years old, that's when, you know, you grow a bit more mature. And that's when I was like, okay, if I continue that way, I kill myself. It's as simple as that. It sounds a bit crazy to say, but that's true. So yeah, I started to do my research at my late 17 and I started transitioning at 18. So I'm 24 now, so it's been 6 years that I started my transition.
You transitioned like 18, right? When you're 18?
I'm turning 25 actually in a month and a half, so.
Still young. So can I ask you, how much does the surgery cost?
Oh, actually, in Belgium, the healthcare system take care of the surgeries because I think it's a country that is a bit more aware of trans people and all of that. The government understands that it is like a mental condition. It is not just like some queer things or just like, oh, it's those LGBTs again, you know. It is an actual condition, you know, and they understood that by providing those surgeries, people are not going to kill themselves because, yeah, that's the main thing. Trans people kill themselves if they can't, like most of them do, if they can't have access to that. So, yeah, it's considered in Belgium, it's not considered aesthetic surgeries, it's considered reconstructive surgeries.
Reconstructive, okay.
Like if you have a broken nose, you don't have to pay it because your nose has been broken. But it's kind of seen in that way, you know? It's like, okay, this person needs to be reconstructed.
So it's basically for free, like by
Not
health
for free.
insurance?
It depends which surgeon you go to. My breast, I paid like 200 euros.
That's pretty cheap.
I don't know how much in Korean won, it's maybe 250,000.
That's like 30만 원, 300,000 won. That's like
For my down surgery, vaginoplasty, the surgery was, I think, 20K, and I paid 4K.
very affordable,
But
right?
if you are willing to go to certain surgeons, the waiting list is way longer, so you don't have to pay anything. Me, I didn't want to wait, so I was like, I'm gonna pay a little one. So it's
Okay. I think here a lot of people go to Thailand for the surgery.
yeah, would make sense. Thailand is very cheap for surgery, and like you know, with like the culture that is very open about all that, I think they perform those surgeries a lot. So even some people from Belgium, you know, like go to Thailand because Thailands have some techniques that we don't have there.
Okay, I get it. What was the most difficult part of your transition? Like,
There's multiple things. I am not someone that has really cared that much about what people think of me. As I grew old, I've always been very independent in my mind. So I would not say like the eyes of other people. I would just say, to be honest, at the beginning, I'm a grown woman and I know how to see the red flags, but I would say how man treats you. It's really like all of a sudden you barely even feel like a human anymore. Like you really like are used only sexually, and it kind of really like hurts your ego. At the beginning, realizing that men don't see you as a woman, as a human at all. They just see you as something to have their little fantasy with. And yeah, I think that was the hardest for me. And of course, when you go through the down surgery, this is painful as fuck. And listen, I have a high pain tolerance, but that was something else.
how long did it take?
For 3 months, I could not walk.
You didn't even walk for 3 months.
No, at the time I had 2 boyfriends, so I had to like walk with each. Like, yeah, okay, I'm an open book, so I'm gonna talk about something that is a bit gross. But when I had to go to the toilet for number 2, I was having a mental breakdown every time because I felt like all of my insides were gonna break. I was literally like crying on the toilet, and I had to hold both of their hands while I was doing my business because otherwise I would have literally started crying, hyperventilating. And yeah, probably have panic attacks. Really horrible. Now it's all good though, but...
Okay, so then how did your family or friends react when you shared your gender identity?
No one was really surprised. It was like, duh, like we've just been waiting here, you know?
Oh, even your family?
Not even my grandparents. My grandma is extremely Christian. Even her, she was not... Like, so she was like, I was waiting.
Supported?
Everyone supported me really well.
That's so nice.
I think, yeah, maybe here it's more complicated because the culture is different. Yeah. Even though my grandma, really, and my grandpa are very Christian, and but even then, they were not surprised. Before my surgery, I had some guy friends. I'm someone people open to me quite easily, and they were like, that's super weird because I'm 100% straight, but you somehow, if I were to do something with you, I would not feel like I'm doing something with a boy. Even though I love these guys, I love them so much. I was, not hyper feminine, but even so, yeah, they felt that way. So I just think I was just radiating feminine energy since always. No one was really surprised.
How is your dating life
I think it's very important, especially if there is other trans women looking at this. You always hear awful stories yeah, dating life is horrible and all of that. I've been in an extremely long relationship. My last relationship was 3 years. I was living with the guy. He showed me to his parents, to his friends, like any normal relationship. I think most of the work, of course, men are gonna see you as a sex doll. Most of their intention is gonna be sexual. They're gonna want to hide you and all of that. But I think at some point you kind of grow a detector in your head, and you turn way more picky of who you allow in your life. And as soon as you become pickier, you're gonna meet great people. There is a lot of beautiful trans women that are gonna date ugly ass guys because they feel lonely and they cannot find someone up to their standards. I always dated men that were good looking, very amazing in the mind. All of my relationships, they were perfect. They were treating me like their queen, kissing the floor I was walking on. I think it's just about being picky. Even here, I'm in Korea and I'm seeing someone, so it's supposed to be harder here, but I think it's just that I'm so picky that I know how to choose the good one right away.
How do you go to club or you meet somebody, or how do you meet guys?
I don't really like to meet guys in club because especially here, when they go party here, they have other weird ideas in their head, and I don't go home with men, I don't do that, disgusting. You never know who you're going home with. And, you can go home with whoever you want. I just choose not to do it. But no, to social media, Tinder, whatever, that's what I use. And yeah, there's other people. I do say in my bio that I'm trans. I don't want to sound pick-me, but it's pick-me because I look the way I look. Men are less frightened than if I was a trans woman that still had a lot of masculine traits. Yeah, I never really had an issue with dating at all. You just have to find a good guy and not someone that is close-minded, scared of what his friends are gonna say, someone that is grown up in their head. So yeah, I don't have any dating issues.
What has been biggest change for you before and after transitioning?
Free drinks.
Free drinks, okay.
Besides mentally, I did, to be honest, I guess I've been able to experience the world through a boy's body. Even though I was a woman, I've been able to experience the world through a boy's body and all of the privilege being a guy. And now I experience through a woman's body, and I can see some disadvantages. People shut you off quite more often, when you're a guy, especially I was a white guy, blue eyes, blonde hair, most privileged, how to say, even though I transitioned, I'm still a blonde girl with blue eyes, people are gonna shut you off, they're gonna hold you less, you're less smart just because you're a woman. So I would say that's one of the things, but I don't have huge major differences, to be honest. Besides, I'm happier.
That's what matters, I think. Yeah. Can you explain me, what makes trans?
A lot of people are not aware that